What's going on, guys? Alfredo Diaz here again with another video. So today is a special day because we're actually getting the engine built. So we're actually going to put it together finally. We finally got all the pieces. Well, at least most of them. We're still waiting on the cams, but it does not stop us from being able to at least put together the majority of the motor. So heading over to Wayne's now, and this isn't going to be a how-to video of how to put the engine together. I'm not really that in-depth, and I mean, I don't want to give away the man's secrets, but at least I'll do my best to show you guys how just how much work it goes into just putting the engine together and kind of how it gets assembled. So I'll do my best to give you the best video content on putting the engine together and how it looks afterwards. But should be a pretty good video, pretty exciting day for sure, because once we get the motor built, all we got to do is maybe get a new clutch and start assembling everything for the car and get the car back up and running. So this is another huge leap for the Mustang build, and yeah, so let's go inside, check out how far along he is on the engine build. Hopefully he's not too far along, and we can see kind of like show you guys like the before and after of how it goes from being a little bare block that's tiny to a giant whopping 4-valve Coyote motor. So all right, so I'll see you guys inside and let's go. All right, so here we are at Wayne's house. Here's the engine. Pop this little keyway off. See how nice it spins. If I can get it on. So it looks like he already has the crank fully bolted down and torqued down. So this is the beginning of having the short block. Here we got the cylinder heads. These are Boss 302 cylinder heads that have been ported. So, well, they come ported from the factory. So these should make some good power with some cams, which we're still waiting on. And then over here we have the pistons, and I want to say that these are the rods that are going to go in my motor. I did make a deal for some, I believe these are Gen 2 rods, so Gen 2 or Boss 302 rods, so they're very similar rods, so it should hold upwards of like 800 wheel horsepower just fine. And then in here we got a whole nother box full of goodies. I'll show you guys here in a sec once we get all of this stuff moved out. I just don't want to touch anything just yet, but there you can kind of see he already has some of the bearings installed, and he's already starting to get everything prepped up to get cleaned. So here in shortly we're going to start cleaning the block, getting all that ready to go, get any little dust off. But yeah, so I'll show you guys here what's inside the box. So what we got in the box, oof. So we got all new gaskets, right? So this is the oil pan gasket. That's also the windage tray. It's really cool how they made that. Then we got the studs. That's heavy as fuck. Then, what's the name of this? That was the support, no?
It's goes on the.
Or are we forgetting part names? No. Yeah, just cam bolts or phaser bolts. More gaskets. This is gonna look dope in that engine. The chain guides, the Gen X chain guides. That's gonna look sick. But hell yeah.
It's a secondary tension inversion bracket.
Oh, there we go. Secondary tension inversion bracket.
Secondary tension or inversion bracket.
Say that 10 times fast. But yeah, so we got that guy. So, cool. Let's see how they look with the pistons on. Piston rings? Nice. Check out one of these pistons again. Not massive, but it'll get the job done. Alright, so this video is actually going to be kind of like double dipping into one, but I'm actually, meanwhile he's assembling the pistons, I'm actually going to go ahead and throw in the alternator kit for the red Coyote swap that I showed y'all in a different video. We already put the gas tank back in it and finished up the fuel lines, so I'll show you that. But this is the Boss 02 alternator kit, perfect for any swap. This is how it comes in the packaging. Nice single wire alternator. That is a lot heavier than I thought. So we'll set that over there. Comes with tensioner and hardware. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw this on and I'll show you guys how it comes out. Oh, it even came with the belt. Cool. Okay, so got it all installed. The belts, I cannot put it right now because we're still missing the water pump. I thought the water pump ran off the inner one, but I guess I forgot. It actually runs off the outer belt line. So this one's actually for your AC belt, but what we're going to be using this location for is actually for power steering. So we're going to run possibly a 3-valve pump here with the neck just twisted 180 degrees with the overflow tank somewhere up here. And here you can actually see from my last video is that we actually reran the fuel lines. So these are possibly going to get trimmed down some so we can actually run the regulator off the fuel rails. So just give it a cleaner look, you know, less holes in the fender, because eventually this car will be getting smoothed out engine bay. So the less stuff that we put on the fender, the better. But for now, we'll see if maybe we might have the water pump. If we don't, then oh well. We'll just finish it another day. Cool. So we actually, the fitting came in for the regulator. So this is how we're actually gonna mount it. Just make sure you do put an O-ring on there. So make sure it has an O-ring. It either comes with one or you put one on there so you don't have a fuel leak. Because all these have O-rings on them. So make sure you got the O-rings. And then these lines, all we'll have to do is measure them up, trim them down, and then we'll be able to mount them up. That way it's a little, hopefully a little bit cleaner setup. Maybe you'd like try and run them this way. Maybe even swap out that 90 for a 180. But yeah. Another thing that we got that came in is this blowfish bracket. This is what will help us run power steering and hydro boost. So this is also on my car, on the Fox. It's a nice piece, billet, aluminum, so it's light, comes with all the hardware that you need. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead, get this car raised up and work from it from underneath. So we got it all raised up, so this is where that bracket's gonna go. But I'm gonna take a sec to appreciate these nice coilovers from Maybach. So kind of did it off camera, but I came here a couple days ago and helped them out. We both just knocked out some of the suspension, got the control arms on, got the spindles on, got these on, and then we even went ahead and actually properly mounted these fuel lines. So in the previous video you saw that I was using zip ties. Now we actually got them properly run. Nice P-clamps, nice radius, all the way through, away from the exhaust, all the way to the top. Here you got the fuel filter, stock location, everything tucked up out the way. But hell yeah. So let's get this bracket on. And it's on. Gotta appreciate just how nice it looks. Should probably wiped it down, but this car's gonna be a street car, so it's gonna get dirty. A quick little shot. Still gotta finish just bolting these up, but this car's actually coming together really nicely. Here's the other side. The rear suspension is still all stock. That's gonna get a full rear end. So once we get the car up and running, then we'll worry about the rear end. But for now, we're gonna just worry about just knocking all the little things. Still gotta order a oil filter adapter for it and just plug up a couple things. But everything's gonna be ran as close to kind of like factory as we can. Make everything look nice, easy to work on. There you can see just how much clearance you have with the oil pan on a Maximum Motorsports K member. Just stock motor mounts for a 4.6. Nothing fancy. I mean, this is fancy, but nothing too fancy. See? So when you get the right parts, everything goes together. Super easy. So if you can, invest the money in the right areas, so you just get rid of any little bit of the hassle. This just bolts up like everything belonged in here. So far we haven't really had many issues where something doesn't want to fit and we have to cut and grind. Everything else is just bolted right up. Stiffer's cross member with those Cook's long tubes. We got the O2 sensors going around the transmission up to the top, nice and tucked, nothing hanging. T45, I want to say. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what it is. Or 3650. Also, excuse the helicopters. We're right next to a military base, so we get those a lot. Unfortunately, we can't run this crossbar. It's just the nature of the long tubes. With some long tubes, you can actually run this rear bar. On my car, I still use it, but I have BBKs. These are Cook's, just a lot bigger than mine. So I'm not able to run. So I'm able to run the rear bar, support bar, but this car's not gonna be, this is just gonna be a nice little street car. Shouldn't need it. But yeah, so there's that. I'm gonna see if I can find some bolts for the water pump that I do have mocked up in there. I'm gonna try and dig through some bins, try and get that all set up. Cool. So I was able to find some bolts, digging around, found a pulley, and I was actually able to bolt everything up. Got the belt on. So here's how the belt is set up. Now this motor is actually getting a lot closer to being done. So now all I gotta do is look for something else I can finish on it. Okay. Well, I've been working on the other car. Wayne got these finished, or at least assembled. Still needs the rings, but oof, a little bit closer. Damn, now it's complete. That's badass. How far the dome just sticks out?
Yep.
There it is. The Wayne built seal. The artist has to sign his work. Right on. There it is. It's all done. At least short block anyways, right?
What's that? Yeah, just a short block.
Yeah.
Looking pretty beastie though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck yeah. Thing's gonna rev like a fucking 2-stroke.
What is it, like 8,000 RPMs or bust on this?
Yeah, 8,000 for sure.
Those cams should make power to 8,200 RPM.
82? Oof. I'm gonna need a better clutch.
82.
Damn. And then over here we're just messing around with the stock cams. Well, boss cams at least. These are gonna be going bye-bye.